Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod Science classes. Today I am here with one more important area which is highly in use, that is Israel. So in this lecture we are going to see important places in Israel which is very much important from your UPSC prelims and also mains. So in prelims every year you can get questions, that is map based questions every year, at least 2 to 3 questions in your prelims. So actually this Israel is highly in use due to Israel-Palestine issue and as well as Israel-Syria issue and even recent Abraham Accord, right? So now let us try to see some important locations in Israel and also surrounding areas of Israel. So first let us see map. Okay, first let us see physical map of Israel. So this is physical map of Israel. So this green color part, you can see this is Israel. First let us try to see bounding countries, which are the countries sharing boundary with Israel. So here we have Egypt, right? And here we have Jordan. And next one is here we have Syria and here we have Lebanon. So 4 countries that are sharing boundary with Israel, they include Lebanon, Syria, Jordan and Egypt. So these are 4 countries sharing boundary with Israel. So here on this side it is having a boundary with Mediterranean Sea. So this is one important glimpse fact. So here you can see 3 important places that you often hear in news. So those 3 important places are, it is Gaza Strip here, okay, and here we have West Bank and here we have Golan Heights. So actually recently there is some we can say missile attack that is seen between this Gaza Strip and as well as Israel, right? So here we have Gaza Strip, here West Bank and here we have Golan Heights. Okay, so it is physical map of Israel. And now let us move on to another political map. So if you see in this political map, so we need to see here we have this Tel Aviv, okay, Tel Aviv which is mainly located here. And here we have Jerusalem, right? And these are the some important places already we discussed. So here white color part, that is Gaza Strip and as well as West Bank, that is nothing but Palestine. So if you are talking about state of Palestine now this Palestine which is mainly occupied by Israel, and we can see here this Gaza Strip and this West Bank. So it mainly comes under now present Palestine states. Okay, and I want to say one thing, here you can see Sea of Galilee and here you can see Dead Sea. Okay, Sea of Galilee and as well as Dead Sea. So this is the one important thing that you need to remember. And here we have this Jordan River. So these are 3 important water bodies that you need to remember. And now let us try to talk about in detail regarding the Sea of Galilee and as well as Dead Sea. So here we have this Sea of Galilee. So here in this image you can easily see this is Sea of Galilee. And here we have this Dead Sea. So Dead Sea, why it is important? Because it is a salt water. So salt water sea, it is a saline sea and salinity is very much high, and we can say about 342 grams. Okay, 342 grams that can be seen. Okay, that is a percentage of salinity that is seen in this Dead Sea. So because of high density, even if you want to dip in this Dead Sea, you will be floating. Okay, so how this dead bodies will be floating on water? So in the same way people will be floating on the sea. It is it is mainly named with this name, that is Dead Sea here. Now let us try to talk about this Jordan River. So here we have Sea of Galilee and here we have this Jordan River. So if we're talking about Jordan River, where it is passing, here it is mainly passing through Israel boundary and here Palestine and here Jordan. So this is the one important thing that you need to remember. Here Jordan River which is mainly forming a boundary between Israel, okay, here we have Israel and here we have Palestine, and here this part it is our Jordan, and it is moving from north towards south and it is mainly discharging water in this Dead Sea. Okay, and now let us try to talk about what happened earlier. So earlier in 6-day war that happened in year 1967. So this war between Israel and as well as some Arabic countries. So in this war Israel became victorious, and before before this war, so this blue color part, it is the territory of Israel. But after this war, so this Sinai Peninsula from Egypt occupied by Israel, and also the West Bank part on, and as well as some areas of Gaza also occupied by Israel. And later on from this Syria, even Golan Heights, okay, Golan Heights from Syria also occupied by this Israel. And later on many countries, they came up with peace agreements. So here Egypt came up with a peace agreement, and it mainly took over the Sinai Peninsula. And even many countries, they came up with agreements with this Israel and took their territories. And next important thing here is, so recent Abraham Accord, okay, recent Abraham Accord is in news. It is also one peace treaty actually. Okay, so now let us try to see in detail. And if you see another image, so here this part, okay, so if you see this light lemon yellow color, which is the Israel, actually these are the parts. So this light brown color parts, they are held by Israel after the 6-day war. The Sinai Peninsula, West Bank and Gaza Strip some parts, and even Golan Heights. Okay, and one more thing I want to say here is, so here we already see this, here that is Golan Heights. So earlier Golan Heights, which is under part of Syria, but in this 1967 war, this Golan Heights occupied by Israel. Okay, so now let us move on to further like important places, important holy places. So here you can see Dome of Rock, and we have Temple Mount or Haram al-Sharif, Western Wall, and Al-Aqsa Mosque. So these are 4 important holy places in Israel. So if you are talking about different religions which are present in Israel, so first one is, I can say it is Islam. Islam, it is prominent, and we can also see Christianity, and as well as Judaism or Jews are present here. So for Jews, this temple, it is a holy place, that is Temple Mount or Haram al-Sharif, and for Muslims it is Al-Aqsa Mosque. So if you are talking about prominence of this Al-Aqsa Mosque, so you can see here, okay, so this image, it is having a better overlook. So here we have Dome of Rock, which is having a religious, okay, which is having a religious prominence in Israel, and here we have Al-Aqsa Mosque. So here, why it is important? Because so it is an important place for Muslims actually. So it is a third religious site that need to be visited by Muslims. So first one here, it is all you know, that is Mecca, which is in Saudi Arabia, and second one, it is also in Saudi Arabia, that is Medina, and third one here, it is Al-Aqsa Mosque. And here this wall, this blue color wall, that is Western or Wailing Wall, it is also having religious importance. So these are the some important things that you need to remember. So if you're talking about important places, that is Al-Aqsa Mosque, Dome of Rock, and as well as Temple Mount or Al-Haram al-Sharif, and even Western or Wailing Wall. And as you all know that here Israel is present, Israel which is also sharing boundary with Mediterranean Sea. So always you need to remember, so which are the countries sharing boundary with the Black Sea, Caspian Sea, Mediterranean Sea, Red Sea, that will come in your paper. These are most favorite topics actually. So here we need to look after the countries which are mainly sharing boundary with the Mediterranean Sea. So if you start here, it is Israel here, Lebanon, Syria, Turkey, Greece, Albania, Croatia, Italy, Spain, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, and Egypt. So these are the countries which are sharing boundary with this Mediterranean Sea. So if we are talking about from this side, okay, so from Israel side, I will give you a mnemonic to remember this countries which are sharing boundary with sea, that is SILT. Okay, S for Syria, I for Israel, L for Lebanon, and T for Turkey. Okay, I hope it is clear, right? And now let us move on to next map. Okay, so in this map you can understand exclusive economic zone. So according to UNCLOS, okay, so we have some rules, right? So which are the thing which mainly comes under internal water, territorial water, exclusive economic zone. So in this Mediterranean Sea also, so this part will comes under exclusive economic zone of Syria, and this part will comes under Lebanon's exclusive economic zone, and here this part comes under Israel's exclusive economic zone, and here we have Cyprus. So it is Cyprus exclusive economic zone, and here we have Turkey, right? So it is Turkey's exclusive economic zone, etc. So this is about exclusive economic zone. And now let's try to talk about Red Sea also. So here we have Gulf of Aqaba. So why this Gulf of Aqaba is important? Because now we are mainly planning to connect Dead Sea with this Gulf of Aqaba, because in Dead Sea this sea it is mainly shrinking in size. Mainly we need to give some water supply to this Dead Sea, and they are try to connecting this Gulf of Aqaba with this Dead Sea. So because of this you need to remember this Gulf of Aqaba. So this peninsula, okay, so this peninsula part is called as Sinai Peninsula. It mainly occupied by Israel, and after agreement, okay, and after agreement, that is peace agreement with Israel and Egypt, this part which is mainly given to again Egypt. So here we have Red Sea, right? And here we have this Gulf of Eden. So here we have Bab el Mandab. Okay, Bab el Mandab mainly joins Red Sea with Gulf of Eden. And here we have this Persian Gulf, right? So here we have Gulf of Oman. So Persian Gulf and Gulf of Oman mainly joined by here we have Strait of Hormuz. So please don't confuse here. So here we have Bab el Mandab. Here we have Strait of Hormuz. Strait of Hormuz connects this Persian Gulf with this Gulf of Oman. And here Bab el Mandab mainly joins Red Sea with this Gulf of Eden. Okay. And here we have this Gulf. So this Gulf is called as Gulf of Suez. And here we have this Suez Canal. So recently this Suez Canal is also highly in news, because one big container ship that is Evergreen have been stuck in the Suez Canal, right? So because of this Gulf of this Suez Canal, it is also very important, okay, for this year prelims. And now let us try to see the countries which are sharing boundary with the Red Sea, okay. So if you see the boundary countries which are sharing with this Red Sea, here we have Saudi Arabia, okay. Here we have Saudi Arabia, and also here we have Yemen, right. And here we have Djibouti, here we have Eritrea, Sudan and Egypt, okay. Sudan and Egypt. There are 6 countries that are sharing boundary with the Red Sea. They include Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Djibouti, Eritrea, Sudan and Egypt. So this is also very important. And here we have Bab el Mandab. It mainly joins Red Sea with this Gulf of Eden. And now let's talk about what is this Abraham Accord. So this Abraham Accord also seen recently in news, right? So if you're talking about this Persian Gulf countries, so here we have Saudi Arabia, and here we have Oman, here we have UAE, here we have Oman, Bahrain. So actually what happened, there is a conflict between Saudi and Iran, right? So Iran, it is a mainly Sunni Shia, okay. Iran, it is mainly Shia dominated country, and Saudi Arabia, it is Sunni dominated country. And here Bahrain and UAE also supports this Saudi Arabia. So even here Israel we have, right? So between this Israel and Iran also there is some conflict regarding this Sunni and Shia. So mainly to bring this Israel towards this group and to support this group, recently Bahrain and UAE came up with this Abraham Accord with Israel. Okay, so this is about this Abraham Accord. So these are some important things that you need to remember regarding this Israel. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. Thank you so much.